This episode is brought to you by thedolphinwars.com.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 373 of King Dolphin TV. I am Raymond. I am King Dolphin. I am the ruler of the greatest pod on YouTube and author of the Dolphin Wars trilogy of books. Man, we're at 373 episodes. We got 27 to go before episode 400. Oh my gosh. Time flies when you're having fun. And there's Trike. Right now, Gumby has struck. That's why the explosion occurred at the beginning. I don't have a guest. I do not have a guest yet. I don't know what's going on. I've tried pinging him, and I was doing some other things before getting on here, and then just haven't heard from my guest. So I guess I don't know. Snort. I do not know. Sandra said, LOL. He started talking while muted. And then Snort says, FKHC says, quick, get Sandra as a guest. Yeah, like that's going to happen. Snort says, nod snoot. Me figured as much. Silly Dolphin. Yeah. It's, you know how golf, you know what happens here when Gumby decides to strike. Or if you trike. Hello, Swift -1. Okay. So, well, might as well start my monologue here. Episode 420 should be fun. Yeah. And did somebody eat the guest? So, all right. So, if you like what we're doing here, if you like these interviews, if you like, well, if I have a guest, but if you like the interviews, if you like All's Fair, the All's Fair reading, if you like Just Cuz, or the oh gosh, Just Cuz, interviews, Fantastic Four comic reviews, everything that has to do with King Dolphin TV, please like and subscribe. Also, if you are so inclined, please consider putting some ducats in the bucket. We've got several ways we can do it. And according to Tim, who says, don't have Snorty and Trike send the Black Widows after you. pay up with a super chat, super sticker, or the tip link here. Yeah. Please, all of the above. I'm also thinking I've got to try and figure out how to work the member stream, the member part, and see if that's worthwhile for such a itty bitty little channel like me. Let's see. FKC has said, if I was to be a guest, channel would be deleted and Raymond banned from YouTube. Probably. I don't know. I think you'd be okay, Tim. I think you'd be okay. And Snort tried the Dolphin tip line. Yes, and thanks a lot, Tim. You're doing your part to keeping the channel, to keep the channel going, to keep the lights on in the Dolphin pod, and especially to keep these two shysters away from your door. You don't want these two coming over and knocking on your door. Don't come knocking on my door. Don't come ringing the bell. Yeah. Trike, Snort, and Dips. Tonight it's Dipsy. Tonight it's Dipsy on the right there grabbing the money. Okay. Or got this one. Oh, it's about time. It's about time. Let's see. Okay. We've got another advertisement for the Snort and Trike Collection Agency. Yes, we got this one too. Who says pay or suffer or both? Hello, Swift -1. We got that one there. That's a more fearsome one. That is a more fearsome one. Or let's see. There's one more. And this is a more tongue-in-cheek one. Both of those were made by Max Redstone. So, yeah, you want to keep these two. Hello, Max. Hello, Max. How are you? Let's see. And Tim did a $2 super chat, and he says one word: Boom. Okay. So yes, thank you, Tim, for that super chat. Snort did the dolphin tip and it didn't work, so he growled. And I tried it. And Snort smacks it. We got the. It finally comes up here. So there's the strip line. Max says both. And yes, and Tim gave a duck to the tip line. And Snort says, and if Trike and I toot, you if Trike and I toot, you know what suffering is. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a guest. Snort. Yeah, thanks. Well, let me welcome our guests and the lifeguard corps. Okay, we have Swift -1 out there. Thank you for being here, Swifty. And then my fantabulous lifeguard corps, starting out with our producer, Sandra. King Dolphin TV in color, stereo, where available, HD, if you got it. A Sandra Feliciano presentation. We got Trike, the official dog of King Dolphin TV. We got Tim, our amazing tipper, and also the publicist for the Snorty and Trike Collection Agency. We've got Legatus Legionii. We got Maximum Redstone. And I didn't expect this, so give me a second here. And finally, we got the hardest working bear on the internet. The one, the only, the one, the only. Snort up a boss! Cube dot screen. Hashtag roar. Snort asks, is dolphin tipping like cow tipping, but wetter? Yeah. Hey, my eye disappears. Hey, dolphin, get it right. And FKHC says, no one expects the dolphin, the Dolphin Inquisition. Hail, Trike! Hail, Trike! Trikey. Hey, I can eat him. Up, 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 up. Hail, Trike. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you're the good dog. He's a good dog. Trikey. Aw, he kissed me. He kissed me. All right, have a good show. Yeah, I swooned for Trike. Yeah, he wanted to see Dolphin Guy. All right. See you later. Try and have a good show. Probably a taste test. I don't think he likes rubber polar bears. Oh, let me do this. I want to be seen. So let me put this screen up. Okay. Well. Well, here we are. Here we are. Yeah, let's do this one.
Are you Twikey the talking pit bull? Are you Twikey the talking bully pit?
Yeah. Hey, Agent Pepsi 1. How you doing? Let's see. How you doing? Let's see. Let me make sure I annotate that. Agent Pepsi 1. Agent Pepsi 1. They've given you a number and taken away your name. Da, 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 da. All right. Who said, okay. Was that a kiss or a taste test? Yeah. And Snorter Poopers, here's my tip for you. Walrus and a bunch of fish. And there is the amazing Agent Pepsi 1. And Snort says he'll stare into Sandra's soul. Yep. Agent Pepsi 1 says, hail to the true commander of the pod. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a seal. Sorry. It's small. It's small. And Snort's going, nom nums. Okay. I vamped. Okay, I did read the super chat and the resulting detonation. Okay. I'm going to. He may not have his phone, which is strange. Let me try emailing him. All right, let me double check here. I'm almost ready to do the King, the Gumby. Ah. Agent Pepsi 1 says, please inform the pod how you were sleeping in the trunk of your car while Sandra was passed out from drinking wine in the passenger seat and Trike was driving. Oh. Oy. And let's see. Tim asks, has it been raining in your neck of the woods today? Yes, all freaking day, as Sandra said. All freaking day. And he says, same here. Yeah. Yeah. Even the ducks are wearing umbrellas. I'm afraid to walk out to the pond. I was supposed to feed the fish. I'm afraid they're gonna be dancing on the side of the pond because it's flooded. All right. Tim says, while we wait for our guest, there is a little Spanish flea record star. He thought what the heck? Okay. While we wait for our guest, there was a little Spanish flea record star. He thought he heard of singers like the Beatles and the Chipmunks, and he said he'd seen on TV, and why not a little Spanish flea? Okay, there was a little Spanish flea, a record star. He thought he'd be a record star. He thought he'd be. He heard of singers like the Beatles and the Chipmunks he'd seen on TV. Why not a little Spanish flea? Okay. I don't know if Trike liked that one. Hey, Trike. Supposed to be on our road trip, but decided to curtail of it. Departing tomorrow morning instead because of the storms going through here. Well, you be careful, Agent Pepsi One. And we got to get Steven on here. I got to do an airline or a freight dog pilot discussion. I got to bring back the pilot discussions. And we've got to tie Steven to the seat and let him speak on the microphone. Talk about flight stuff. It's the song Spanish Flea by Herb Alpert. Oh, okay. Okay. Well. Okay. It's been about 20 minutes and no guest. Well, I could do comic book reviews. I could do either a Fantastic Four, the next group of I can do a Fantastic Four review. He is sitting in the other chair saying, no, no, no. He talks on the radio all day, but doesn't want to talk here. Well, you know. Oh, trivia. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I can do that. Let me pull out my trusty trivia from the Trivia Pursuit Millennial Edition. Okay. The magic trick trivia was amazing. Yeah, it was. Oh, I've got some interesting facts. Let me pull that up. And trivia, bad jokes, random act of violence. Well, Snort, that's everything. Actually, let's see if I can bring up some interesting facts. Okay. Okay, interesting facts. Yeah, because I saw some cool ones this time around. Okay. Well, I'll start with trivia. Yeah, that was Agent Pepsi one. That was a nice little article. Okay. Okay, chat. Here we go. From Trivial Pursuit. All right. Dipsy scared the cat. Dipsy scared the crap out of a young cat this morning. The idiot cat fled into a cardboard box in the carport. And Snort says, "How do you stop a polar bear from charging? Take away its credit card." But all right, Snorter Poopus, you made the kitty table. The kitty table has the smarter than average bear. Yes, eclairs. Sandra says, "Poor cat. I bet it was funny." Saving money at home. I had Arby's today. An idiot me. I got an extra sandwich because I was going to take it into lunch, but we've got a retirement tomorrow, and it's going to be a retirement lunch. So I'm like, ah. So I ate it. Yeah, Reubens are not fun. I'd rather have just a pure corned beef sandwich. All right. All right, the first one. Oh, this sounds. Sandra, of all the foolish things to do, not as stupid as the German Chancellor Merz. He landed in Kiev. Suddenly there was an air raid alert, so he runs to stand under the wing. Dunch. And Snort likes their beef and cheddar and curly fries. Of his large official airplane, an Airbus, I believe. That's stupid. Let's stand under the wing of an airplane loaded with thousands of gallons of fuel. Stephen is listening to us in the background because he doesn't want to talk to me. No, he doesn't want to talk to King Dolphin. King Dolphin is a nice guy. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay, here is an interesting fact that would be real, that I know Agent Pepsi 1 will really enjoy. So this is for you, Agent Pepsi 1. Hello, Jen D. Oh, you're a new person here. Welcome. Welcome to the Welcome to the pod. Welcome to King Dolphin TV. I don't think you've been here before. So hope you subscribe. And hope you enjoy the show. Okay. Yes, welcome. And welcome back, Tim. Oh, well. Okay. I knew if I vamped enough, he would show up. So stand by while I let him on stage, and we will get to the interview.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
I would like to apologize first for being drastically late. I've had technological issues and life.
Okay. Well, welcome. You are here now. All right. So this is you've seen him before. This is Alex Taylor, also known as Brick Plania, Lego model maker extraordinaire. But this evening we're going to talk about the book he wrote. Now, of course, if we have time afterwards, if you've got any new stuff, if you got any new Lego stuff, we'd like to see it. So,
All right.
FKHC says, "Is that a Minuteman III missile model in the background?"
So I'd have to double check if it's a 2 or a 3 based on how many warheads it could carry, but it's a Minuteman.
Oh, cool. All right. Okay, so Alex, you've known a lot of the chat is there, so we will get started. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yep. Agent Pepsi 1 says she likes the SR-71, and she thinks there's a B1B over there. I see a B2. I see a B2.
There are both up there.
Okay. Ah, cool. All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we will get started here. I know there are some that do have that were on the last time we interviewed. But for those that are brand new, please tell us a little bit about your background.
So for my background, I'm a retired career enlisted aviator from the Air Force. And I flew on a number of heavy aircraft to include the E-3, the E-4, the RC-135. During my time in the Air Force, did the usual things, but my writing career kind of started when I got a chance to go TDY to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We're there, we've got a little bit of time off, and I'm a history buff. So I'm like, hey, the Museum of the Air Force is here. So that's what I did one day. So I went out there and, got out to the experimental wing back then and, looked at the YF-23 and was like, that is one sweet aircraft. And kind of had this crazy thought, what if they'd put it into low rate production, made a few, and then it just morphed from there. So it became, all right, if you're going to do low rate production, how do you make that work into a modern day novel? And, it just became, well, all right, it's a clandestine unit. And then I just started writing. I'd never written anything much longer than a book report in my life. And here I am, cranking out a full-length novel. So was not expected. English is not my forte. I had to get a lot of assistance from my wife and some friends in proofreading and all that, finding all the mistakes I made. But yeah.
Okay. When did you actually start writing it, and how long did it take?
So I started writing it probably 2012, 2013. I really started on it.
Okay.
And then it made it to about 75% and just languished as, I had other commitments in life and work while I was with NATO. And then once COVID hit, we're locked down. We're stuck. We're going absolutely nowhere fast. And inspiration struck. And I finished it up.
Cool. It only took me 40 years to finish my first one.
Yeah, well, I think for me, I was about 39. So, not much beating you there.
Mm-hmm. Well, but, all it needs is that one, all it needs is that hook. Once it hits, the pieces fall into place. And, okay, so when did you write the book? What made you write it? So where now, this is totally up to you. You could do it spoiler free, or you could do it any way you want. Tell us about your book.
All right. As mentioned, the book involves a clandestine unit of YF-23 or F-23 Black Widow 2s that is stationed out in the middle of bloody well nowhere. If you look up Glasgow, Montana, these people kind of are about the middle of nowhere. And strangely enough, they take pride in it.
Mm.
So, it starts off with the main character getting grounded for having a incident breaking an air brake while at red flag. And then he thinks he's on his way to serve time in a missile silo. And he kind of gets pleasantly surprised. But, he's got to work his way out from being the snack beep or snack O in the squadron.
Oh, yeah, the snackos.
And going from there upwards. So, yeah. And then once he completes training, you get into a little more real life situation, but you'll have to read the book to find out about that.
Yep. Gotta keep the spoilers secret here. Okay, let's see. All right, book. And so the title is tell us about the title.
The title is straight up the name of the aircraft.
So they actually called it the Black Widow?
Well, the Black Widow 2. The original Black Widow was the P-61 in World War II. Okay. Northrop just slapped a 2 on it. Kind of like the F-35 is technically the Lightning II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although everybody calls it the Panther.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. Not the greatest imagination there, but,
Now, your cover designs are... Who did the cover design?
So the cover design was done by the publisher.
Okay.
So I had a little input in the ideas, and I didn't want, the usual, hey, we've got a picture of the aircraft streaking through the skies doing anything good. I wanted a serious action pose.
Mm-hmm.
So talked about it, and they did the flanker dead in the sights of the F-23, which
Okay.
I thought looked really good.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had a little bit of assistance from the two test pilots who flew the YF-23. I got in contact with them, so they were able to kind of look over my stuff and give me a tiny bit of pointers. And
Okay.
they both enjoyed it and said it's a great cover and it's not a view that you usually see.
Oh, okay. Now, who did the? I know this isn't one of the lists, but who did? Did you water it down to keep all the classified out, or did you get some in and then had to get somebody to vet to make sure?
So, as a retired military member, I am required to send all of my publications up through the vetting process with DoD.
Oh, okay.
They redline stuff. So I do have the official letter from DoD saying it is cleared for published as written. Or it's cleared for published as we finally got to an agreement. Certain things had to be removed. So yes.
Okay. But the difference between yours and mine is yours is real or based on a real aircraft. Mine's totally science fiction. So
correct. There was also, the tactics, techniques, procedures.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, you're individually published. Where did you go through?
So I know they've been bought out, but at the time it was Mentor Press. They do a lot of military self-help books that you see in the BX and the PX.
Mm-hmm.
And they were branching out into fiction a little bit.
Okay.
So they took my book on and were willing to publish it and see how it went.
Okay. Did they provide agent services, or do you just they just published it?
Regretfully, they pretty much published it, put it on the shelves of the BX, the PX, and then left the rest.
Okay. Which means once you came back to the States, you're on your own. On your own. Yeah.
So their assistance in marketing, book signings, all that has regretfully been quite limited.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've gotten lucky. I've gotten it's hard finding like places to do signing events. It's especially like around here. I've been lucky. I got two events coming up, one after the other. So let's see. A kitty. I hear a kitty. Or is that?
That is our 10-month-old son.
Oh, okay. So it is your son. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Say hello to 10-month-old son for us.
Will do.
All right. Let's see. Anything else before I open it up to the chat? Let's see. Let's see. We talked about your writing process. Okay. Do you foresee another book?
The next book is already ready. We've been through the DoD review, and And regretfully, because the sales were not where the publisher wanted it, it is sitting there ready to go and doing nothing.
Hmm. Have you considered like Kindle, or are you stuck with this publisher?
So there's a little more time stuck with them, and then we'll see how things go from there. I'm hoping to take it out to Kindle, other options, and get it a little better marketed.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Guys, start getting your questions ready. Let's see. Because I'm almost through. And do you have social media that social media, web page, or stuff to bring your books out?
So I am on Facebook for my writing as well as my brickwork.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to put it in the private chat, I'll
Yeah.
post it out there. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll start. Let's see. Okay. And let's see.
There you go. You've got it.
All right. Copy the link address. And here we go. All right. Why? Okay, there it is. And there's his Facebook page. So if you want to check it out, feel free to click that link. All right. And let's see. And how goes the brick business?
It's kind of slow, but it's nice because it's just a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So it still allows me time to do that and take care of kiddo and the family.
Okay. Have you designed any other builds? I know I'm still a gog at you're building my Devil Ray. I've got it in a place of honor on my airplane displays.
So I've done a couple of other new builds since then. One of the ones I'm probably, I would say, most proud of, because it was a righteous pain to figure out, is the F-117.
Oh, do you have a picture of it?
I do.
All right.
So let me see about, okay. Yeah, fun with. No, can't paste it. So.
Oh no, just do a click. Just click on present.
Image file, and then all right. Yay!
Yep.
Technology.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Whoa. That is nice.
I also did an F-111.
Oops. Nice.
Yeah, I've done a few aircraft. I mean, And the
And-
wings on the F-111 do swing as
Oh.
well.
Oh, that had to be tough.
I'm going to tell you, not really.
Oh.
I just cribbed off of my design for the F-14.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And here is the Devil Ray.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very agog about that. I love that F-117.
That was a pain. You would think something that is just, slab-sided angles would be easy, but in brick form, it's not, because they don't line up with how Lego works.
Ah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's Vietnam colors.
Vietnam going into the 1980s, yes.
Okay.
I had to have a little fun and do the old torch and burn party piece on it.
Yeah. I like that. All right. Okay. All right. So now we will check out some questions that are out there. Okay. Let me go back. Let's see. I'm looking. Ah, okay. I'm seeing it. There's this. Okay. Oh, Snorter Poopa says, "Hello, Mr. Taylor. You saved us from trivia."
Huzzah!
Yeah, we were getting ready to do trivia.
Yes,
See.
my apologies again. Sorry. It's
no problem.
it's always fun when the kid decides that he's going to puke on you.
Oof. Okay. All right. Max Redstone is asking you a question. Were you ever on the Looking Glass mission? And he's asking for Trike. So Trike is asking this question.
All right. If we're talking the EC-135s, I am not that old. They were gone and retired by the time I even joined the Air Force.
Gotcha. They retired in
91.
Yeah, when they shut down the
SAC.
when they shut down SAC, yeah. All right. Agent Pepsi 1 says, "What is sweet is sleeping on crates of ammunition on a C-17. Well, as long as you don't think about what the mattress is made out of or made of."
What's wrong with sleeping on live ammo?
Yeah, nothing.
As long as you don't bump it too much, you're fine.
Yeah. Hey, I've slept on the floor of a 135 before, so it's on the way to Europe.
Yeah.
It's interesting experience. Snort says, "And here I thought the book was about spiders." Well,
one look at the cover and you know it's not spiders.
Hey, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So they omitted the super secret, top secret comfy chair with magic fingers. Shh.
I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of the super secret, top secret, comfy chair with magic fingers. Next question.
Or the $500 for the $500 toilet seat.
Oh, that we can confirm. What else are we buying with that money?
Yeah, true. What else does she know about the C-17? Well, the titanium alloy, I believe. Floor of the aircraft doesn't move if you trip, and a 115-pound secret agent hits it with her kneecap. That just hurts.
Watch out for the retaining rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The C-17 is a cool plane to fly in. We got to do a flight at the local guard base. Okay. Thank you for your intelligence gathering. Smart making Trike the fall guy. He don't care. Okay. Here's another. Does the plot of the book take inspiration from any current events in the Middle East?
It does. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to say it doesn't, given what's out there. And it's just taking all that information and weaving it into a coherent yet cleared story to get out and publish.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I listened to an interview with Stephen Kuntz, who wrote The Flight of the Intruder, and he said when he had to get his book published, he went through the Naval Institute, and they let him publish it there, but they had to keep all the rights to they kept all the rights to the book. Obviously, the DoD lets you keep the rights.
Well, they're not the publisher.
True.
So, let's see what we've got here. All right. So, the Defense Office of Pre-Publication and Security Review. Dear Mr. Taylor, responds to the 12 November 2022 correspondence requesting public release approval of the manuscript titled The Black Widows. The manuscript submitted for security review is cleared as amended. So, yes. They looked at it. They had some stuff they wanted changed, and they got it changed.
Okay. Okay.
I went through that, but if a civilian is writing a book, I mean, they can go ahead and use whatever they find on WikiLeaks or any of that. They're not prevented from it, whereas I have to explain where I got my information from, and they review and go, well, this is a no-go, or that's fine.
But they don't publish. They don't take the expense of publishing.
No. Their job is to just review stuff for publication because they're not a press. They're just a security review agency.
Okay. All right, let's see. Questions. Snort says, Devil Ray, never heard of it. And Tim said, or FKHC says, and you did a B-52.
I've done a B-52 in both the modern dark gray and the Vietnam era black belly.
Hmm. Long tail,
Yep, the tall tail.
tall tail. Yeah. Okay. Uh, FKHC 2005 says, "Will you be displaying these at Brick Fair, Virginia?"
At this time, no. So, while Brick Fair is a nice event to attend, just the way my schedule has been lately with kiddo, that's not high on the priority list. Maybe someday we'll get out there.
Okay. Huh. Agent Pepsi One says, "Shutting down SAC. I never thought that was a wise decision." Well, they made up for it with Global Strike Command,
Yeah.
but it took a few faux pas
Yeah.
to realize it.
I remember learning about those and getting grilled on them at the NCO Academy about mistakes that others made and how we needed to learn from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, Agent Pepsi One says, "Airplanes like the EC-135 have great names like Looking Glass, Arc Lightning. Now you have stupid names like the Lightning 2 and the like. No imagination left or creativity."
Well, I mean, there's only so many names like Raptor until you run out of the good stuff and you're like, all right, we've got to reuse it, or we wind up with Pegasus, you know?
Galactica. Yeah. Well, look, the Aardvark took forever to get a name. The F1, the F1, the F-111. It took forever. And what did they give him? The Aardvark.
Yeah, well, I mean, it has other nicknames that are probably a little more appropriate, like Earth Pig and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Snort says, a certain country developing nukes, perhaps? Could be. Could be.
You never know.
Yeah. Or Richard Herman's series on sending warthogs to China. That was back in the day.
Yeah. I think nowadays that probably wouldn't go as well as it would have back
No.
then.
No. Like the YF-99 Arctic Air Superiority Fighter, the polar bear. Okay. Agent Pepsi One asks, in the 1950s, obviously before your time, Mr. Taylor, but not before Raymond's. Hey, I'm a 60s child. Did the EB-60 fulfill the same role or mission as the EC-135?
I don't know.
I wish I've heard of the EB-60. I don't know if it did.
I'm going
I
to say
thought
go look on Wiki or Google it, you know?
yeah.
Sorry, that's a little before my time. Yeah.
I think the EC-135 has been there forever. Well, once they got the 707s.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Warthog versus Thunderbolt 2. Yeah. Yeah. Brr. I'm going to miss that airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what they should do, but this is heresy, is let the Army have it. I'm sure they'd find a good use for it.
Oh, yes, the Army would. But, yeah.
The Air Force keeps all jet engines. Here's a good one. A question for Mr. Taylor from my husband. What do you think of the re-engineering the B-52 to the B-52J? Will the extra avionics and upgraded engines, as the airplane is 70 plus years old?
So I'm going to start with bloody time. They should have done it in the 90s with the CFM 56s, like they did the 135 fleet.
Yeah.
The amount of money they would have saved the government in fuel alone by getting rid of those smoky TF-33s would have paid for it in spades.
Yeah.
And then as to the rest of it, they don't build them like they used to. You know, it's still got airframe life. You know, hey, keep using it. It's a viable aircraft.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the thing is they so few of them. You know, they had so many on alert back in the day that those that are on they're still probably survivable. Of course, I did cry when they started chopping up the G's. Yeah. Well, I was on a B-52H and a B-52G base, so I like them both.
I can see that.
Yeah. I was sad when they got rid of the gunner. I think if they would have kept the gunner, I might have considered cross training into it. Let's see. Snorta Poopa says, yeah, just wait till they upgrade the B-52 with warp drives. Hey, I got a picture of that.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing is, the B-52 is going to outlive pretty much everything at this rate except the KC-135.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny, they're taking aircraft designed in the 50s and built in the 60s, and we're looking at flying them for almost 100 years.
Yeah. And they can do it too. Those are some badass planes.
Yeah. Designed by slide rule, not computer.
Yep. Stephen agrees, should have been done in the 90s or the 80s. Yeah. Well, during Desert Storm, I mean, the Iraqis were absolutely afraid of the B-52. Tim says, yeah, the gunners were going, sadly, the way of the dodo bird.
Yeah, I mean, modern technology, you're not getting into gun range with a B-52.
Yeah. They're going to use a missile. Although, I'm sure the flares and chaffs and stuff like that, well, linebacker proof they're not invincible. Flying is inherently dangerous, especially if Steven is flying. He's listening to this pod, so you're saying something that is it's probably going to hurt his feelings. Her husband Steven's a freight dog.
Okay.
For FedEx. I would hate to be a gunner on one of those with everyone trying to shoot you down.
Well, you've got an ejection option, and it's not downward facing.
That's true. Yeah, the navigator and the radar nav have the worst ones. The downward shooting. You should be afraid of B-52s. They drop, what, 35 tons? No, 75 tons. Let's see. Which century? Max Redstone says, I will say having two B-52s overfly my house, a few summers ago, the TF-33s are distinctively loud.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Flew with those on the E3 with NATO, and quite a difference from the high bypass turbofans on the other aircraft I flew.
Yeah. I will say the ones that the ones they currently got, they also smell too. We were on an ORI. I was over by the flight line as they were doing a MITO, and you've just got all that JP4 languishing in the air. And oh my God, my uniform stunk for a week. Despite
washed it, but
despite washing. Despite washing.
Then I'd have left it on the line outside.
Yeah. He smacked me on the arm. He claims to be a great pilot. Let's see. I want to time myself to like 58 and be on one of the first 707 flights from New York to London or Paris, the ones where they injected water into the engines on takeoff. Yeah.
That gets even louder.
Yeah. And smokier.
Yeah.
Yeah, louder and smokier. I've seen B-52s take off when I was a kid, the G models, when I was living on Guam. Sandra says, I don't blame him. Flying is safe if the pilot pays attention and stays inside the edges. Remember, it doesn't matter if he's good or not. You have to tell him he's good. Yeah. So what airframes, if you can say, what airframes have you flown in?
So as said, I've been mission crew on the E3, E4, RC-135.
Okay.
And then now that I've got my private pilot, I've flown a bunch of Cessnas, a couple of Pipers, and a few other things. I'm working on some aerobatics with a super decathlon just so I can better understand those flight maneuvers.
Okay. Now, when you were on the AWACS, were you a scoper or
no?
Okay. And that's all you'll say.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right. Louder and smokier. That's the idea. Hey, I would get to wear one of those June Cleaver outfits. Let's see. What can you tell us about your duties on the E4? Probably not much.
Mission crew in the back.
Mission crew in the back. Okay. He's actually a good pilot. He has to be, otherwise I can't imagine they would let him fly such a big airplane. I'd be terrified.
What do you mean? He's flying for the first 400 feet up and down. After that, the autopilot's doing it.
Oh.
Got fired, I know.
The answer is if I told you anymore, I'd have to send Snorty after you. Yeah, probably. He's not going to say a lot. $400 is 390 too high for me.
I don't think the autopilot engages at 10 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see something here. I'm going to pull up, see if I can see the B-52 on your. There it is. See if I can see the B-52 picture on your site.
The other option is I send you another
Okay.
picture.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, and you got the cruise missiles on the modern one. Excuse me.
Yep.
And was that the big belly mod on the Vietnam one, or just a generic one?
Externally, there's no visual difference.
Mm-hmm.
So you can call it big belly, you can call it not. I mean,
Yeah, I noticed it doesn't have the girders on it. The girders on.
no, it doesn't have the pylons on the wings, but
Yeah.
you know, that's upon request.
Oh, okay.
The customer just wanted a B-52 in Southeast Asia camo.
Okay. Nice. Both are nice. Sandra says Alex is right. I'd love to fly a big plane like that, but only cargo. I wouldn't want to deal with whiny people. And you're outnumbered, Agent Pepsi 1, since Raymond, Alex, Steve, and I are all pilots. You're surrounded.
Yeah. Regretfully, if I was flying passengers, it would have to be old school, pre-1970s in a 727.
Yeah.
Because that way you could open the back hatch and toss them out if they're unruly. Now, D.B. Cooper just ruined so much jumping out of that plane.
Yeah. The MD-80s too were I love the MD-80. I worked as a flight attendant on the MD-80s, and I just love that airplane.
Yeah, but they didn't have the air stairs in the back that you could jump out of.
Yeah. Actually, they did. The MD-80s did. Yeah. Yeah, they had the cap in the back. Let's see. Good friend of my father used to be a radar controller during the 70s in one of those strategic radar stations in Greenland and Iceland. Was your job in the E4 similar to that?
So the E3 does air traffic control with that big radar dome on top, but no, I didn't do that.
Okay. Everybody with good taste loves the buff. Yeah, that is true. Although the F4 is no slouch either.
Well, yeah, the F4 is the proof that with enough thrust, a brick will fly.
Exactly. Agent Pepsi 1, tell him that if Steven wants equal time, Raymond would love to have him on. Yeah, you could just pop the back cone in flight. Yeah.
Was not aware of that.
Yeah. All right. Snort says, didn't they recently claim to have finally found DB Cooper or what's left of him?
Don't know. Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The story and the legend is much better than a final statement on that one.
True. Well, that's like Amelia Earhart. Of course, anybody who watches Star Trek knows that Amelia Earhart has been kidnapped and is in the Delta Quadrant, along with Noonan. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so where can someone get the Black Widows? We didn't really talk about where can somebody get it.
It is actually available on Amazon.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So,
Wow.
knowing exactly what you have to put in for the search terms, which of course I've got. All right, here's the Amazon link your way.
All right. Oh, man. That is a lot. Let's see. Okay.
So tell your friends, tell your family. We get enough people to go crazy on it.
Yeah.
There's a chance we can get the second one published, or we just wait a little longer and we'll make things happen that way.
Is the second one finished or?
Yes.
Okay.
As mentioned, the second one is not only finished, it has passed DoD security review, so it is print ready at a moment's notice.
Okay. Just got to find that. That publisher.
Or go the self route once I'm able to. That's it.
Okay. Let's see. Present, share screen. All right, there it is. Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually been to Glasgow, Montana. I mean, yeah, it's barren nothingness, and nobody wants to be there. But hey, there does happen to be an old SAC base there, like 30 miles north towards the Canadian border. Which.
How far is it from Malmstrom?
It's a little bit of a journey, but strangely enough, that's covered in the beginning of the book.
Very, very cool. Okay. All right. So there's the book. You can get it on Amazon. And all right. Now, if someone wanted a signed copy, that's probably going to be a bit of a process.
Potentially work with them. I mean, if they're local to Martinsburg, West Virginia, might be able to work something out.
Okay.
Oh, hey, and somebody's got a better link that doesn't have all the extra stuff.
Oh, my God.
That probably does work better. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, so that's where you can get it at. There's the link. And check out his Facebook page. So if you want to check out his work with Legos. And yeah. All right. Well, I think at this point we will start winding down with our very own show notes.
It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. Yeah, with Mr. Raven and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. We're bringing it on. It's time for show notes. You've all been warned. It's time for show notes.
All right, show notes. We got Just Cause this weekend. I've got a signing event in Leetown, West Virginia, with my books, the Dolphin Wars trilogy, and then at 5:00 we will be doing Just Cause, and then on the 4th of June's busy. I mean, June's really busy. On the 4th, I've got our usual Fantastic Four reviews. On the 11th, we have a jewelry creator, Jennifer McEnroth. On the 18th, we have our very own Knight Rider expert, KR Companion. And on the 25th, another installment of Radio King Dolphin TV with the Not Ready for Pod Time players reading the next installment of All's Fair. This is going to be a very action-packed reading. In July, on July 6th, Raquel SSG will be coming on for an interview. And on Just Causes will be on the Saturdays, and with our next themed episode on June 7th, we will do a Corn Hub themed episode. I can imagine how much the rails are going to go off with that one. I'm scared. I am really scared to do that one. And remember, Just Cause. Wait, yeah. What did I say? What did I say, Tim? Did I mess something up? Let's see. No, I don't think I did. Yeah, July 6th is a Sunday. But June 7th is on our Saturday, and it will be on Corn Hub. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Snortapoopus says, take care, Okay, wait a minute. I gotta bring it up before I go to the next. Okay, let's see. Okay. Snort says, take care, every dolphin, doggo, Dalek, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and binturong. TM, a wholly owned subsidiary of the dolphinwars.com. And the binturong is this little critter. He's kind of cute. He's a kind of cute little critter. Okay. If you want to stay, if you stay up later than we do a pod raid at Pop Culture Breakdown. Wish you the best on the signing event. Will not be home on Saturday, though. Yeah. Oh, I also have a signing event on June 7th at the Martinsburg Comic-Con. So, back-to-back signing events. Yeah. Agent Pepsi One says, please don't talk about July's if yet. I start cussing around the 10th. As 2 weeks later, I have to see the germ reactors again. Ugh. Okay. Uh-oh. One day we laters are going to have to raid the stream and take over. Ah. Yeah, I know. We need a ladies' night. Silly humans, bears rule the universe.
Okay, I found this on the web for human bears rule the universe.
All right, Siri. Thor, what did you do? Oh, dear. All right. So that is show notes. What's coming up through June. And I will thank everybody who is here. We had Jen D. Welcome. Hope you subscribed and hope you liked the show tonight. We had Swift -1. Thank you for being here. And then my amazing lifeguard crew. We had our producer, Sandra Trike, our official dog. We had Agent Pepsi One, Agent Pepsi One, Agent Pepsi One. And we had our great FKHC 2005. Thank you very much, Tim. We had Legatus Legionii here. We had the Maximum Redstone. And we had Snortopupus Cuber. Thank you all for being here. Glad you came, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. Agent Pepsi One says, this was a great chat pod tonight. Stephen and I really enjoyed it. Well, thank you. Thank you, Agent Pepsi One. And Snort says, I enjoy discussions about aircraft and how to use them to annoy people. Yeah. It's no fun unless you're annoying people by buzzing them over.
Yeah, it is. When you're the pilot doing aerobatics, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Period.
That's true.
It's just icing on the cake if you get to do low passes and buzz them too.
Yeah. Do a nice crop duster imitation of a crop duster. Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Stick around, Alex. I just want to chat with you in the back room. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us, Alex. It was no problem. You got better late than never. We still had a great time.
And I saved you from trivia.
Saved them from trivia, yeah. Huzzah! All right. Well, hope to see you back on here. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Crop duster imitation with the C-17. I would run to the hills, yeah.
Why? They do that all the time.
Yeah.
They just do low approaches and drop stuff out the back with parachutes.
True that. I remember seeing the Blue Angels back when they flew the Phantom too. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. All right, everybody. You guys have a safe and dry week. Hopefully you're not, most of you are not in a place where you're getting torrential rain like we are. Oh my gosh. I keep worrying that the basement's going to start seeing some liquid. So, yeah. All right. So have a safe and dry weekend, and we will see you on Just Cuz on Saturday. You guys take care. I love you all. Night.